in AIIMS Rishikesh. After that, we will try to integrate different forms of learning to deliver the best outcome. As this figure shows, first we have data, then we move on to information, then knowledge, then wisdom. And learning seems to be a process of going from data to wisdom. So let us try to understand all of this. Data is a set of values of quantitative or qualitative variables. On its own, it has no meaning. This table is an example of data. We can see many values of hemoglobin in this table, but they don't really mean anything. So let us try to do something to this table so that we can get some meaning, we can understand something. If we perform some statistical analysis, we can convert this data into knowledge, into information. Information is processed data that has a meaning. It embodies the understanding of a relationship of some sort. After performing the t-test, we will know that the average hemoglobin values of females are less than that of males. This information is not really enough. We need to know something more. We need to do something to convert it into knowledge. Knowledge is an understanding of information. It represents a pattern that connects and provides a high level of predictability as to what will happen next. It also leads to generation of more information. We have knowledge that may be about the symptoms of anemia, the causes of anemia. But this knowledge doesn't really mean that we will be able to treat a patient who comes in our OPD. That requires wisdom. Wisdom is the judicious application of knowledge in order to deliver the correct outcome. It is an understanding of the fundamental principles that are embodied within the knowledge. It is systemic. So we have the knowledge of the symptoms of anemia, of the causes of anemia, but they are not complete. If we see a patient who is complaining about weakness, a woman maybe, from the low socioeconomic strata, we also need more information. We need information about her social history, her personal history. Maybe she's a vegetarian who doesn't like eating vegetables. Then we can presume that she'll be suffering from some dietary deficiency. We can also get more information by getting her hemoglobin levels tested. All of this requires wisdom. Now, learning is the process of going from data to wisdom. It is a personal act. Every student learns in a different manner. Some students maybe learn better from books. Other students learn better from personal experience. It varies from student to student, from time to time, and from topic to topic. Now we have understand what is learning. Let's move on to shared learning. Shared learning is the process of working collectively to achieve a common objective in a group. Team members share their knowledge and complement each other's skills. It is a social process, as in people talk to each other. It flourishes in an open and supportive learning environment or context. It ensures that people share their knowledge with each other. Earlier, we used to think that all knowledge is available in textbooks. So we tried a method of learning known as passive learning. Teachers used to teach from the textbooks and students used to learn that. But that is not really enough. You need to know about other things. Shared learning helps with that. It has many advantages. It promotes learning and academic achievement. It also increases motivation. Students really feel motivated to learn when their peers, other students, are dependent upon them. It enhances satisfaction with the learning experience. Personally, I have felt that I feel very good after teaching something to my peer. It also helps develop communication skills. Now we have learned about shared learning, its advantages. Let us see how it actually takes place in real life. Anatomy is a very important part of the first Prof MBBS curriculum. Dissection hall is a major part of anatomy. In AIIMS Rishikesh, we are allowed to interact in the dissection hall. So, shared learning naturally takes place in the dissection hall. Students share their knowledge about structures and the clinical importance of those structures. They also complement each other's skills. Students who are good at dissection, they dissect so that other students can better understand those structures. As we can see in this photo, a team of students is doing the dissection. Another group is guiding them by reading from the dissection manual. There's another group of students who are not really visible here, who read from the textbooks and tell us about the clinical importance of these structures. Personally, I had a very good experience of shared learning in the dissection hall. We were studying the gluteal region. One of my friends had just reflected the gluteus maximus. We could observe the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Another of my friends told me that these are powerful abductors of the pelvis. He also told me about the clinical importance. He said that if these muscles are paralyzed, then we see a sign known as the Trendelenburg sign in the patient. If we ask the patient to lift his leg, and if the other leg is affected, then the pelvis will be tilted. I didn't really understand what he was trying to mean, so he stood in this posture. It looked like some weird yoga pose. Our table teacher was concerned, so he asked us what was happening, about their experience in relation to shared learning in the dissection hall. It was a mixed method study. Both quantitative and qualitative aspects were analyzed. A semi-structured questionnaire was given to them. Confidentiality was assured because some of them were hesitant to say something negative. Verbal assent was taken from all of them. As there was no control group, we used simple descriptive statistics to understand the responses. This study was conducted from 9th October to 13th October this year. There are 100 students in our batch. Out of them, 98 answered. As no one was aware of the term shared learning, this term was explained to them when the questionnaire was administered. Here are the results. It is not surprising to see that a large majority of them like going to the dissection hall. Most of them like it because of the discussions and the shared learning which happens there. Unsurprisingly, almost 92% want to have more opportunities to discuss and study with other students. These questions, they don't really represent the depth of their experiences. So they were asked to give their comments on shared learning. They said that discussion helps in understanding and memorizing the structures. They also said that it helps in understanding and also develops the value of cooperation. However, they refer to the importance of teachers. They said that discussion alone doesn't help unless teachers show the main parts of anatomy, unless they have an understanding of what is actually happening. As these students rightly pointed out, teachers are also important. If students don't really know about those structures, they may start gossiping and they may not really discuss the matter, the actual content which they are supposed to discuss. However, passive learning, didactic learning can get boring. I really dread to think of a day when I have to spend 2 long, boring hours in the dissection hall, breathing all those formalin and being in the presence of half-mutilated dead bodies. We have to listen to a lecture on muscles, their origin, insertion, clinical importance, and all of those things. I like discussing, I like the shared learning which happens there. Both need to be combined so that we have a solid foundation of knowledge, of information, and also of understanding, which happens when students interact with each other. This will give the best possible outcome. We need to exercise wisdom in integrating these things. Many doctors are products of passive learning, and they are great doctors. But shared learning hasn't really been tried here. So both, if they are combined, if they take place together, will give the best possible outcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arnav, and being a very young researcher, you have presented the data very nicely. You have conducted a study over a period of 5 days, is that right?
Yes,
9th
sir.
to 13th of October, and analyze the results. And I think you need to be complimented on what you have done, and also the kind of experience which is being gained by the students at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Rishikesh, is highly commendable, and I am sure other institutions might take this example and carry it forward. It is a bit like the problem-based learning. Sometimes, perhaps if you read about it, there are medical institutions in certain parts of the world where it is practiced as a problem-based learning. This also has gained momentum in certain areas. Thank you very much. I don't think there are any questions, and we go ahead with the next presentation. Again, Arnav Tiwari. Arnav Tiwari, please.
Thank you, sir.